For the past 3 years, I have observed first-handed, with my own 68-year-old eyes, using supporting tools such as handheld magnifying glass, a full 8.5 by 11-inch magnifying sheet, and other magnifying features available in free limited-use software apps. So, there is no hoodwinking going on here. I pulled a string in space. Yep, the space is not outer space, but an estimated 19 feet from the front door. Since then, I have captured many terrestrial events as I travel the east coast of the United States of America, from Myrtle Beach to Massachusetts/New Hampshire, and from content creators. There are hundreds of thousands of content creators who publish this new environment that is translucently semi-invisibly, and take no action to be curious. So, that is where awareness is needed. Become aware. This environment is unexplainable, so in order to relay my observations to the population, I have created new terminology that will help you comprehend the views. So, with that being said, let's get started. This view is an international flight that encountered a large fleet of birds, which surrounded the airliner. The captain and co-pilot executed many maneuvers to evade the fleet, such as increase altitude, to no avail. The birds were still there, even pecking on the window. Finally, the captain gave in and followed the fleet of birds, and by during this I said she avoided a terrible storm event that was in the initial plane path. Right away, I knew that those were not birds, but extraterrestrial spacecrafts. These terrestrial entities can transform into birds, miniature crafts as small as a dot made by a lead pencil and as large as a stealth aircraft. I have captured these magnificent events at each stage of transformation. Check out my content. So, these entities prefer to mimic birds, probably because many people don't even notice them as we move throughout the day. Here, they were noticed, and their persistence to persuade the captain to change the catastrophic flight plan saved the lives of everyone on board the aircraft. Let's take a look at what I observed. Here you will see the entity's true appearance, and see for yourself that these flying entities are actually connected to surface rods. Areas where flight is not required, you will see the surface slats. As flying entities approach, the smooth slat dissipate and the rods appear to support the flight. Amazing! This is a great visualization to use the new terminology. First, let's start at the bottom. I have named this structure surface slat. Surface slats plank the entire cosmos that is visible, such as the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on and on. This is the unseen gravity that has evaded scientists. As you know, gravity is said to be the invisible force that holds us to the Earth's surface. The actual facts is that we are clamped to this surface, along with everything in the universe, even things that fly such as birds, spacecrafts, and our modern-day aircrafts like the one you are viewing here. These slats are covered with materials that I have named nanomites. They resemble a curved black IP but very, very minute, and the surface appear to be smooth and solid. There are millions of nanomites, jumping and moving along the conveyor belt-like structure, always moving. There is another layer under this surface, which enables flight. I have named this structure a surface rod. Grasp this concept that an invisible interdimensional environment surrounds us 24/7 non-stop, and it is moving and never stops. This concept includes space, the sky, and the oceans, and everything that we consider being related to the environment. Now, back to the picture. These rods, the surface rods, enable flight of any kind and any type. At every move, you are interfacing with sections or windows in the dimensional structure. And oh, by the way, don't forget you are viewing the sky, the heavens, the firmament. That was an introduction to help you comprehend the views that you will see of this specific spacecraft labeled 1. There are 2 spacecrafts in this view, see the label 1 and 2. We will focus on number 1. The entities escorted my travel the entire way. At times, I counted at least 11 to 15 entities surrounding other humans' presence, and I assume the same for myself if not more since I have been aware for 3 years. This entity after showing up in this form instantly shrink down to a dot. Yes, a dot. I am followed or surveilled 24/7, and so are you. I just realize it, and you do not. Anyway, during a scenic drive through the countryside, I captured footage of this entity, and other amazing shapes. Here you will see in the next few pictures, the interdimensional, invisible to us environment. See close-up views of the spacecraft, its surroundings, then get ready to be captivated by the real-time footage of this event. And finally take a look inside the spacecraft, no pilot identified anywhere. Then, see the surface rod's connection as it enables flight, and finally view the active activities that are unexplainable. Keep watching. Oh. Just a wake-up reality check. You have been viewing pictures and objects in the picture performing the activities at the time the picture was captured as a snapshot. We all know that images on a picture do not move or become active. Here in this environment, the rules do not apply. Now, are you ready to go on a road trip? Make sure you have your snacks close by, because you will not want to miss any of the spectacular breathtaking event. During this road trip, there were many miniatures, semi-invisible, and multiple spacecraft appearing. I have flagged several of the entities, but there are some that are not flagged, so keep an eye-level visual on the left and right side of the vehicle as well as the sky view. They were everywhere. New entities joined for a short time and fell back as the escorts continued to keep up with me as we moved on down the road. I have given these entity shapes names. There is Cotton Ball, who is spinning like Saturn and its rings, and Kite Tail, who has an extension that is lowered down like a kite's tail. This event occurs in the center of the driving lane always. Oh, one other thing to become aware of is that what most would call a glitch, when your recording begins refocusing. That event indicates to me that the entity is projecting a distortion beam of sorts. The only observable effect seen was the viewer all of a sudden refocusing automatically and then clearing up instantly. Now, get ready to view an event that will leave you breathless. Absolutely amazing. A replay of that event is required. Sit tight, the footage is slowed down even lower for the rerun. Initially, at full speed, all I saw was a black dot blink. Words cannot explain how amazing that was to witness. I am overwhelmed. This is not a single-person endeavor. For 2 years, I have announced that I will give this project to millennials and Gen Z only. In the many views of this alien craft, don't mistake the colored upside-down heart-shaped center as the spacecraft shape as you view the images. So, take in each magnificent rendering as they reveal areas not seen in previous views. I have flagged one target area near the cockpit where the craft shape starts to flare out. This infrastructure area in the sky under the cockpit displayed some amazing activities. And I must keep reminding you that this is a picture. And stuff is moving. And all I used was a simple free limited features editing software applying overlay features such as sharp, contrast, focus fix, saturation and such, nothing special or secret, just the regular free features offered in the application, that's all. So, for now, sit back and take in these views with clarity, clarity, clarity. Listen to this, reported March 8, 2024, by Mike Wendling from BBC News. The United States says UFO sightings are likely secret military tests. Officials also said there was no evidence that the US government had encountered alien life. Most sightings of UFOs were ordinary objects from Earth, according to the report submitted to Congress on Friday. But Pentagon officials accepted that their research won't quell popular beliefs about alien visitors. The proliferation of television programs, books, movies, and the vast amount of internet and social media content centered on UAP-related topics most likely has influenced the public conversation on this topic and reinforced these beliefs within some sections of the population, the report said. Based on my first-hand observations, this is crap, total crap. That is why I will not give anything. My first question will be, are you a millennial or a Gen Z? UFO whistleblower says U.S. recovered non-human biologics from crash sites. Former military intelligence officer turned whistleblower David Grush told House lawmakers Wednesday that he had interviewed government officials who had direct knowledge of aircraft with non-human origins, and that so-called biologics were recovered from some craft. Grush, who served for 14 years as an intelligence officer in the Air Force and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, appeared before the House Oversight Committee's National Security Subcommittee alongside two former fighter pilots who had first-hand experience with unidentified aerial phenomena. This was reported on July 26, 2023. I have not seen anything that represent what we consider to be human, and that includes us. In this environment, we are a mechanical biological cyborg. See for yourself in my content titled UFOs Are Here. I know the truth, I can spout it, and then I can show you crystal clear proof. I no longer reference the term sky any longer. My description is the firmament. So, what is the firmament over the earth? The word firmament generally refers to the arc of the sky, but is regarded in biblical cosmology as the dome created by God separating the earthly realm from the heavens. Are there waters above the firmament? And God made the firmament, and God separated between the water that was under the firmament and the water that was above the firmament. Taken literally, these words say that there is a body of water above the sky that is the complement of the body of water on earth. I observed the firmament line, and it appeared to be hovering just above the ocean. Again, view my content and become aware and see the truth for yourself. Everything that you are viewing as sky is the firmament, which I have named a huge stencil sheet that move as astonishing speeds, never stopping. This is where you see the surface slats, surface rods, and the vast amount of infrastructure viewed in the rendered pictures. The next views will focus on the spacecraft and the area surrounding it. Coming into view, you will start to see what the infrastructure in the firmament looks like and what makes up the spacecraft. I will flag the outline of the spacecraft for your ease of visuality. In addition to the spacecraft being the target of curiosity, so is that pink cylinder labeled target. Heads up, the cylinder is a clear, invisible force field shaped like a cylinder. I am always looking for a pilot, a crew, a trash can, a cup, anything. To no avail, there is nothing there recognizable to my 68-year-old eyes. If you see something that resembles a human, let us know. Leave a comment. This is your first look into this biomechanical structure that makes up the spacecraft. The views will become clearer, and more details are revealed as different renderings are shown. This is the first one. Take a look around the outline edges of the spacecraft. These areas will show how the infrastructure connects to the flying object. View the images inside the craft coming into clarity. Compare this view to the attached original picture to locate where you are. After this view, next you will see the surface rods and the amazing, futuristic mechanical infrastructure that support flight of all types of. Even Simone Biles flipping through the air as she executes those amazing flips. Here are the surface rods that enable flight. The mechanics appear to resemble fabricated parts that we create and make here on planet Earth. What do you think? Leave a comment. In this view, you can clearly see that the entity is clamped to the infrastructure. Heads up, we are also clamped to what I call surface slats the same way. I have named this process gravity, that invisible force that holds us to the Earth. Are you still sitting down? Moving on, you will see more renderings that fill in the spaces, showing more details than the last view until the entire surface is populated. Keep watching to the end. More details come into view. In this environment, objects such as this spacecraft appear to be projected from the base upward. I call this expansion the accordion. Here you can see what appear to be levels projected up or down. Now, what I have observed in other images is this. Picture a stack of 500 index cards with tabs on the edge, and stacked on top of each other. Let's call this an index box. All of these index cards have an imprinted, fully operation infrastructure section embedded on each card. When executing, the cards generate a fully operational infrastructure, such as a machine to test blood samples. So, was this entity created using this comparison of the stacked index card? If so, I see a great future for humans. My first request would be a food replicator for the entire population, and my first request would be a cup of tea Earl Grey hot. Okay, back to the view. Now let me tell you what else I discovered. The materials that you see that look like small pebbles of all colors everywhere, what is it? Are you sitting down? It is water, yep, water. I observed the edge of the firmament that meets the ocean water on Earth, and machines on the edge of the firmament line sucked up the ocean water from machines in the ocean. Yes, the machines in the ocean appear to filter the water. Anyway, the water was processed into the different color pebbles and moved throughout different areas of the huge stencil sheet. This process even has chilling machines with frost accumulating on them in some areas. View my content. Now, take in these next views, and I will catch you at the end to summarize what I observed. Keep watching. Here is the full picture of the spacecraft captured in Earth's interdimensional environment as it transformed from a miniature-sized spacecraft into the view that you have in front of you. The awareness information and the undisputable views provided to you earlier in the presentation may consciously register with this image here. Hopefully you can identify the surface slats and the surface rods. I will not be zooming into this picture because you need to see the full picture. In the next image, you will see everything in this picture moving. Whatever processing was happening at the time that I captured this snapshot from the video, is what you saw. A second later the infrastructure objects surrounding the spacecraft would have changed. That is because this humongous stencil sheet move at speeds unmeasurable at all times. This movement never stops. I captured video of a stationary blinking orb in the sky, and the rendered footage showed the speed of the humongous stencil sheet passing and connecting to the stationary orb as it passed by. You will be amazed to see what materials were delivered, what attachments were applied, and other observations. Subscribe, view my content and see the images crystal clear. So, as we head into the finale of this presentation, I hope that you are more aware of this magnificent realization. My next presentation is related to what we call climate change. If you thought this presentation was fantastic and packed with relevant and crystal clear footage, you are really going to put your thinking hats on when you see what I captured. Keep watching the truth observed from a regular citizen who pulled a string in nature and became curious. Oh, remember that area past the cockpit that I labeled target? Get ready to see this area execute amazing processing as everything start moving on this picture. As we approach the end, I thought that you may want to see that spacecraft instantly appear again. How amazing was that? Here it is.